The TED Talk that I chose was from 2007, titled The Mystery Box, with the speaker J.J. Abrams. He is a writer, producer, and director for various movies and TV shows. I chose it because I know of some of his prior works, and I thought it would be something that would be interesting to listen to. He starts off by talking about how his grandfather was the one to get him into the joy of understanding the inside of stuff, seeing the inner workings of mechanisms. And that one day, while they were out shopping, they found a magic shop that sold a mystery box that claimed to be for $15 you'd get $50 worth of magic tricks. And they bought it. But even to this day, he has not opened the mystery box, which is surprising since he likes to see and understand the inside of stuff. But he realizes that it's partly because it's a symbol for his grandfather in a way. And on top of that, he's also realized that he enjoys the infinite possibilities of what could be inside the box, rather than just what's able to be seen. He likes the outside of the box, he likes how it looks, but the infinite possibilities is so much greater. He begins to show a clip from the pilot of Lost in which one of the characters gets sucked into a turbine of the plane. And he mentions about how technology is so much better nowadays, that back then, 10 years before, whenever it was produced, they would have so much trouble trying to make a scene like that and running it over and over again, trying to get it just right. He talks about how it's so great now because people have the ability to do all of these things themselves, because everybody has technology such as their phones that are just as good, if not better, than some of the studios have. He shows a couple clips from some videos that people have made in small groups that look amazing, if not like better than some of the studios that he's seen from like Hollywood. He talks about how back then he would say like, oh, if somebody asked him about writing something, he'd say, go write it, you can do it, you don't need to ask for permission for that, it's free. But nowadays he's so happy he can just say, go make your movie. Everybody has the access to the technology, it's so freely available that they can just go and make their own movie. He also talks about how it seems that a lot of people don't realize how stuff works with the outside and inside of a mystery box, quote unquote, in quotes. That whenever something makes a rip-off of, like, for Jaws, for example, they get the outside of the box. They show the shark, everything, the thing that everybody knows about Jaws, but they don't get the inside of the box, the characters that make it so much more meaningful to the story. He concludes that the box will never be opened in honor of his grandfather, though, so it will always be a mystery, with infinite possibilities. If I could ask him any questions, I think I'd ask him, if Lost was made today, does he think it would be as good as it was back then and well received? Because it seems that nowadays, with technology getting better, studios aren't taking advantage of it. They're just doing what they need to do to get by and for it to be good enough. Instead of using like how much effort was put in back in the day for practical effects, they're just using just enough to get by. Another question would be if he thinks that media nowadays does too much telling rather than showing to the audience. That instead of letting the audience figure it out themselves by looking at it and seeing what's going on the screen, they just come out and straight up have a character tell them, like, this is what's going on, this is why. He talks about how Alien is so good that they don't show the alien too much, that it's kind of a mystery in a way, that you have to kind of figure out yourself what it is. And I think I'd also ask him that if he thinks that smaller groups and developers and stuff like that will overtake these larger studios nowadays. Because we see now that with gaming, for example, there's games made by one person that is talked about and played and enjoyed by many people for months on end, sometimes years. But then a AAA title gets released and it's met with negative reviews because it's not what the audience was wanting. It's not as good, there's not as much effort put into it as these smaller devs are doing just by themselves, and it's just not what the audience wants.